Welcome back, everyone. Today I have another video for White Beer, as we just came back for the regional that just happened this weekend at Texas, and I got top 32 in the tournament, and this is the deck that I was playing, and I wanted to share with you all. The deck was really good. I was undefeated until the 7th round, where I took 2 losses to Law. And then on top 32 I lost to the Mirror. I'll go over my matchups a little bit more at the end of the game, but I just got over the deck profile and the reason that I chose the cards that I chose. So Otama is just really good for the deck. It's just a card that you can you combine with the Newgate to be able to get through blockers, and that's just important to be able to close the game. So I would not change her. And Nami's a good card that you have to know how to play in this deck, because yeah, early game you get to play, you get to search for your Luffys and your Robins and your Monkey D. Luffy, but later during the matchups, like after you play your White Beers or whatever, if you have the option between like a 2K Connor and your Nami, you have to be mindful of how many Radical Beams and Garpoise you have used. If you haven't found any of them, you probably should combo a 2K so you can play the Nami and try to dig for those Radical Beams instead of comboing out the Nami. Like if they're attacking you for like 6K base, you should consider comboing a 2K Connor instead of the Nami, because the Nami does search for these 2 cards, and that is just very important, just in case the opponent wants to just shotgun you and just go all in for the leader, just hoping that you don't have enough. This card just prevents that from happening, just in case you don't have those cards in hand. Brook and Luffy are the 2K counter that you can search for Nami, and Brook is just there because it's a 2K counter really. I never played it, and I don't think it just matters which 2K counter you play here. Luffy, it's a card that if you don't have anything going on, if you break super hard and you by turn 5 you don't have any of the cards that you want to play there, then you just play the Luffy because you don't have anything else to do, and you have to enact a game plan at that point. And if Luffy is the game plan that you have to go for, it is what you have to do, right? And then that's the reason that I like this 3 energy card that you can play. But it could be another 2K, another 2K Straw Hat that could be on this spot. Doesn't really matter. We have Nico Robin as this card. I was playing Vista instead of Nico Robin, but Andrew convinced me that this card is actually very good in the red matchups, because you get to, like, if they want to get rid of her, because a lot of opponents made me go first during the tournament. So if they wanna deal with the Nico Robin when I play it on turn 2, they have to either do Otama Vista, or they have to do like a Jet Pistol. And that's a lot of specific cards, or a lot of like energy that they have to expend to try to deal with her, and that's just great. Like if they're doing all of that just to get rid of a Nico, then they don't have those cards to deal with your Luffy, with your Ace, and with your Newgate, and that's much better for you. And I really like that option. They have to usually tap out, and they're not gonna play pressure your leader in that turn. So it's just a lot of good reasons why to play the Robin. And it works very well, and I would still keep it on the deck. And it's a straw, so you can search her on Nami. So it just has a lot of the good things going for her. Joshu and Marco. So Josu, I'm sorry. He's a 2K counter for the most part, but also it's a card that you can pitch to Marco, and that's important. I was playing the Makimo on this spot because sometimes at the end of the game, you can, if you have a random Nami floating around, you get to pump it and just attack with her. And that's good and all, but the fact that it's a 2K counter, it comes more often that where you can actually pitch it with the Marco. It just came out during the tournament a lot of the times, and that's a little bit more relevant than having the extra pushing power, because your leader already does that very well. So, and actually the effect that it has is not bad at all, because you get to give a rush and I go for game. One of the games that I won was because they couldn't like they had a blocker. They blocked my leader, and they didn't have any life left. They didn't have many cards in hand. I didn't have any rusher, but this one was the one that I was able to close the game. And yeah, that's why I liked it for that reason. It was very good. I think if I'm playing the Marco, I would still keep the Joshu. It's his personal preference. and I don't have too many targets to discard to Marco, so being able to have an extra one, it just comes very clutch and often during the matchups. If you play this version that I'm playing, Marco was really important. The only matchup where it's not good is against like green decks, because they can just tap it down with like a Pun Gibson or with like an Okiku, so it doesn't like offer too much value in those matchups. But in the all the other matchups, it's just very important to have a blocker, because it's just a blocker that can't come back is just gonna offer you a lot of value, even in the red matchups, even in anything else. It's just gonna be really important because you have to force the opponent to keep dealing with him, and that's not always easy, or not always they're not always able to do that, at least cheaply. Monkey D. Luffy is the 4th drop that I chose for the deck. In the mirror, you want to go first either way, and it's the only matchup where I actually I feel like scared that I have to win whatever, and going second is not an option. So having too many cards that you are going second with, it just didn't feel correct. And this one's just good enough. It also comes up where like if you have the Robin and you have to attach energy on turn on 5 energy, then the extra 4 energy, you do play the Monkey D. Luffy. So it's good to have 4, but I don't think more than 4 is more necessary. I'd rather play the Marco, which has more utility in the deck. Luffy, Ace, and Newgate. So this is the best curve on the deck. Like whenever you go Luffy into Ace into Newgate, it's probably a matchup that you're not going to lose, because that's just a really strong curve. But the problem with the deck is that if you don't see that curve, then it's a little bit like you have to work for that win, because you don't see like your best curve, right? But you can base your strategy based on the cards that you see. So if, for example, you have a lot of aces in the deck, in the hand, then you can base, okay, this is gonna be my win condition. I'm gonna remove every card my opponent has, and I'm gonna just attack for 7 consistently for the rest of the game. And with that strategy, the Marco and the Radical Beams are really good. Same with the Luffy. If you see only Luffy's, then you're gonna be I'm gonna apply a lot of pressure. I'm gonna defend my cards, and this is my win condition. And of course, if you see Newgate, a lot of Newgates, then you have to defend early on, and you have to get to the 2 Newgates, and back-to-back Newgates are usually able to win you the game, especially with this leader, because it's really difficult to push through an AK leader. But the best curves that you can have is definitely just going to be Monkey D. Luffy into Ace, into a Newgate, and another Newgate. That's just almost unbeatable. I don't think that, like, coming back from that curve is just really difficult. And I decided to play the Radical Beam and the Guard Point as the 2 cards that I'm using as a 4K counters, basically. Although the Guard Point is only 3K. But it was really good. Like, a lot of the times, my opponents would just put me on the challenge of show me 20 when they attack with the Whitebeard. And having a lot of extra cards that you can combo with, I was able to get there most of the time. A lot of the time. So yeah, I would still play probably this ratio, and if anything, I would maybe cut one of these ones for another 2K, because a lot of the times you're tapping out with the deck and you just want to have cards that you don't have to expend energy on. But this ratio worked fine for me. It's up to each one to how they want to play the deck. This is how I played the deck. However, into the matchups that I play, I was undefeated until round 7. I didn't have much troubles with those matchups. I was having decent hands, and my deck was functioning correctly. I didn't have any really that much difficult matchups. I knew when I was gonna win or when I was gonna win, and at some point I was able to just get the victories because my deck was working correctly. On round 8 and round 9, I play against Law. I lost both matchups. But mainly because in those matchups, you want to see your Newgate. That's the card that you mulligan for. I didn't see any. The problem with not seeing any is that at some point, they're going to be able to go 12-12 or 14-14 with the cards that they have on hand. And if you're taking your own life, you don't have that cushion where you can take 1 life for free. And they're going to kill you most of the time because of that. So you do really need the Whitebeard on that matchup, because not only it allows you to defend easily, it also serves as a win condition where you can just clear their board and clear another creature. And if they don't have any creatures on board, their deck is not that threatening. Like a combo in 15 is just easy. Like if they don't have like a dual attack 2020, that's just easy. Comboing the deck is just super easy because they don't apply that much pressure early on. So it is really important to see this card, and that's the reason I lost those matchups. I just couldn't see any, and my opponents had like very decent hands, and even though it was really close, against my second opponent, I did see this one, but it was too late. Like I was already still alive, so it was really difficult to defend after that. So you have to see it within a time frame, like before you go to 0 life. It's important to see it there, because if not, it's just probably it's too late. But that is what it comes down to. And on top 32, I lost to Whitebeard 2. And again, that's another matchup where my opponent went Luffy into Ace into double Whitebeard, and I didn't have any of those cards game one. I mean, I didn't have the Whitebeard game one, and just got roll over on the first game. Although it still was a close game, because I was able to do like a Monkey D. Luffy into another Monkey D. Luffy, and I play around his Ace that way. And then after that, I just kept attacking the leader for as much damage as I could. And even though he played 2 back-to-back Whitebeards, it was really close. It came down to like 1 or 2k Connor, and unfortunately I was not able to win out like after that. But it came down to like the wire. It was really close matchup, and I almost won that one, even though he was able to do back-to-back Whitebeard. And then game 2, I saw one Whitebeard. Again, I lost for 1k, but my opponents saw the same curve. They saw Monkey into Ace into double Whitebeard. And again, it's just a curve that is just really important, really difficult to beat. Like the only answer that you have to a Whitebeard is another Whitebeard. And if the opponent just does back-to-back Whitebeard, it's gonna be impossible to win. It's really difficult. I mean, it's not really completely impossible. You can also play Marcos as defense or whatever, but it's still gonna be really difficult. Like it's the matchups where you win, where you're trying to do that, are not as often and consistent as you might think. Like you have to see the new gate, and that's what the one thing that I didn't like about the deck. If I would choose to do the tournament again, I think I would go with Luffy, because Luffy does not have that pressure where they have to see their 9-drop on their 9 turns. They can just do like dawdling around. They can just attack with this one, attack with that one, and then eventually when they get to the 9-drop, they should at least have 1 or 2 life, and they can just play defense long enough to where they can survive. They still have to see their 9-drop, but like they don't have to see it like that presently. Like it doesn't have to be on turn 9 and that urgently. And that's why I think I like that Luffy a little bit more. The deck was very powerful, and it really is something that you should explore. It's still a very powerful deck, and I think it's the best deck of the format for sure. Leading up to the tournament, I was really not losing any matchups, and it was that way during the whole tournament. Basically, it's just at some point I just stopped drawing the 9-drop, and it is difficult to win without the 9-drop at this version of the deck, actually. Not that difficult, but it's difficult when you don't see your 9-drop and your opponent does see the 9-drop and they see multiple of them. Then it becomes really difficult to win without it. But yeah, that's the deck that I have for today. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for everyone who came down and took pictures with me, signed some cards, say hi to me. That was super fun. That was super amazing. I really liked it, and I hope to see you all in different tournaments. I haven't gotten to any of the other ones, but let's hope I'm able to get into any of the other ones. Try to win next time, as I was a little bit disappointed that I wasn't able to get past top 32, but we'll get him next time. It was still top 32 is still a good decent placement. But yeah, that was the tournament that I had for today. That's all I have for today. That's the video that I have. Thank you all for watching, and have a good day.